welcome back everyone to our special 10-year OPDD anniversary episodes with special guest Makell Richins, OPDD
Hello.
alum of 2020, class of
2020.
2020,
Yeah,
and a supply chain manager at Uinta Design. Welcome. Thanks for doing this.
thank you. Happy to be here.
I appreciate you taking time. Because so 2020, you were our second graduating class.
hmm
I guess for these episodes, it's been really fun to hear people's journeys, like how they found the program. I've interviewed people who like just graduated all the way back to your class and the class before. And it's kind of funny and interesting to hear like how people found the program. So I'm curious, like how did you find OPDD?
so let's see. I was actually at UVU going to school trying to figure out like doing the general thing, trying to be like, what am I gonna do? And I just heard that there's this new program at Utah State and it's outdoor product design. Like it kind of just like made its way, through the grapevine. And I was like, that sounds kind of awesome. And so I like looked into it and I was like, okay, I think this is what I want to do. And like it just sounded like something that really interested me, like the design and um yeah, like it was kind of like the combination of my two loves, like being creative and then like the outdoors. So it was kind of like, okay, how much more perfect can a major get, you know?
What was it like getting on campus? Because I mean, you weren't the first class, but you were part of that first wave of students when the program was still kind of like it was brand new. We were still
Yeah,
figuring some things out. Like it's evolved a lot even since
yeah.
since you graduated. Um, what was it like in the first couple years?
It was a little chaotic for sure, but it was also like really fun. I feel like there was a really like everyone was just excited to be like kind of paving the way and like starting this program and like figuring things out and like I feel like at the time we all were like okay, this is gonna be awesome in like 5 to 10 years. You know what I mean? Like kind of like once we figured out like worked through some of the kinks and like everybody was just like super stoked of like what it could be, you know? And I feel like it has been fun. Like, just I love keeping tabs on the program and like where you guys are at, the things that you're doing. And it's just like, ah, like, yes, this is awesome, you know? It not to say it wasn't great when I went through it, but because it was really great. But it's just cool to see, especially as you guys have more like industry influence. That's been really cool to see. I feel like you've been able to like tailor the courses and kind of how it all works a little bit more to industry. Whereas I feel like in the beginning we were kind of just like trying to figure out like, okay, what's going to be the best like um courses to offer and like what courses should I take if this is what I want to do and things like that. So I feel like it's come a long way and but it was still so fun and so exciting just being a part of the beginning. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, it's fun that you and I think unique about the program that you've like still feel invested in it, even though you've been graduated, like and you
Yeah.
still keep up with it. Like no shade to any other programs like on campus, but like I don't necessarily keep up with my program
Yeah.
in that same way. And maybe it's the design of it all, like maybe it's the tight cohorts, like
Yeah.
it's the
Smaller class.
the first program of its kind. Like I think that's unique that our alumni like stay involved and like
Yeah.
the fact that you're willing to do this is like I feel like pretty special that you still
Yeah.
feel a part of it. And that's
Yeah.
what we want,
Sure.
especially with the tenure. Like we want people to feel like they're part of something bigger.
Yeah,
Like
and I do like I feel like I'm like when somebody says they did OPDD, it's like I don't know, I love to talk to them about it. Like, oh, okay, like how was it different? What professors did you, have and what classes did you take? And kind of I love talking to them and it does feel like this like group of okay, like we kind of did this unique thing by go like, having this major and it does kind of I feel like bring us all together because it is one of a kind. It's not like, no shade to the business, but it's like there's business degrees like in every college. Like OPDD is like so unique to just Utah State, you know? So,
yeah, yeah, it is really special.
mhm.
I'm curious, like, what were your goals coming into the program? Like, what were you hoping for when you graduated?
I really wanted to do apparel was my like main focus. Um, kind of going like almost throughout my entire time in OPDD, which then right after I graduated, I did get I worked with Down East doing apparel, which was obviously not outdoor apparel. So it was great, but I was kind of like, okay, like I don't know if this is exactly what I want to do. Like it's just a little more fashion. I love the technical side of things. And then I kind of just stumbled upon it was Blu-ray at the time, but um this bag company, and I loved that bags were it was still soft goods, so it still had fabric, but I love the technical side of a bag and like the functionality. Like bags have to be so functional. And so I was like, it actually fits in with what I was originally thinking way more than I ever expected it to. You know what I mean? So it kind of was like a happy accident. But and I've actually grown to really love designing bags. Almost just as much. I still feel like I would love to do apparel just because it's fun and everybody has the dream of like designing for like Arc'teryx. That's like my like one day, dream. But um but yeah, I feel like my career's kind of just been this series of like happy accidents and then like loving what I've kind of fallen into, if that makes sense.
It totally does. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm curious. I do want to touch on like what you're doing currently. But I'm interested also in like memories from like time during the program. Like, are there specific classes that jump out to you, specific moments or experiences, or the phrase I've been using is like prototyping disasters late at night in the
Oh my
sewing
gosh, yeah.
lab or
I was
like
gonna
machine
say.
shop? Like, are there like, you know, good bad memories that pop
Yeah.
up or
Some of my first memories are when we first started. I don't know if you do this. I don't think you do this anymore. Um, but we had seminar, but it was everybody, like any and everybody who was even thinking about doing OPDD. And it was just this big class, and it was all a bunch of like outdoorsy, like nerdy people that loved like gear. Like just a bunch of gearheads. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. And we all just were like in this one class, and it was just so much fun. Like we would just all kind of get together and we would, talk about like either like a different book or like different speakers would come in. So it's like similar to what it is now, but a little bit different. And I just remember like it being just so fun and like exciting. Again, like I feel like that was part of like the energy, this excitement of like we're starting to figure this out. So that was one of my first like because that was like the first OPDD class like I technically took. And I was like, this is so awesome. Like I just immediately like fell in love with the program and like all the people in it. Um, but then yeah, my gosh, so many late nights sewing. Just like, and so many fond memories just being in the sewing lab, like at 3 a.m., just starving. Because I had been there since like 10 p.m. and had only like lived off of like a couple granola bars, And just, I had so many videos of me with like my friends, and we're all just like grinding, trying to like get stuff done, and we're all a little delirious. Because we've been up all night. We haven't slept. But that was for sure. I'm trying to think. There's one. I have one specific video that I actually saw the other day. Okay. So when I don't know if you've watched New Girl, but you haven't?
no, no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
Okay.
know I've heard this before. I'm
Okay. Have
sorry.
you heard this before?
No, I've heard that I need to watch.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, so
Not
there's
this story.
one scene where I can't remember what she's trying to make. She's like sewing something for like a wedding. And Nick comes out and he's like, Jess, what are you doing? He's like, it's 3 in the morning. And she's like hunched over her sewing machine and she's like, just making a few minor adjustments. And she's like clearly just like hasn't slept and she's just like going insane. And one night I was watching that at like 3 a.m. sewing, like because I was just watching New Girl while I was working on stuff, and it came up and I just was dying. I was like, yep, that's me right now.
Live look at me.
So yeah, that was just so many, but I loved it. Like I still honestly do that to this day. So I love staying up until midnight and sewing and crocheting and knitting things all night long. So
That's something that if anyone knows you, they know like you have your professional career that is like design,
uh-huh.
but you've always maintained like creative hobbies on the
Hmm.
side. Like, where
Yeah.
did that start for you?
Oh, ever since I was little, I remember just always wanting to make. I would make random little things. I love the Killers, and one day I made the Killers K just out of like cardboard and Christmas lights. So like the dotted Killers K, like just a random thing that I love to do, and that was like before the program. I think that might have been actually in high school or something. But I've just always loved to make things. I love to problem solve. Like I love the problem solving of it and then like having this final product that, you made and it's just kind of evolved more into like I sewed a little bit when I was young, but the program really like helped me develop more skills. So I love to sew. And then I started crocheting and knitting and I'm obsessed with that. So basically just anything I can make, I love to try it. So
That's great.
but,
Are there any other classes that stick out to you or projects that you worked on in the program?
mm, I loved color theory. That was one of my favorites. Is that still a class?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, good. That one was so fun. Um, Obviously color is huge, and so it was fun to just like learn more about it. And then we did an aesthetics. Was it aesthetics? And do you still have this one?
We do aesthetics, identity, and brand image, I think.
Okay, I think it was like called something a tiny bit
Yeah,
different,
I
but
think it had a different name at the
I
time.
think
Yeah.
it's basically the same class. And that we designed a line of like climbing clothes, at least like my group did. It was like a group assignment. And that was super cool. Like I feel like I was stoked on that like final project.
Was that with Andrea Olson?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then trying to think of some of my other projects. I loved my final project, my senior um kind of capstone project. I did like an athletic wear set and but yeah, I did this activewear set and it had like a fuller back panel and I did like a cool design on it and I designed it all in Clo 3D first. And then I like prototyped the pattern and I sewed it all based off of Clo and this 3D render. And so that was really cool just because I loved playing with the new playing with the new software, figuring all of that out, and then bringing it to life by like actually sewing it, which that was like athletic wear is the worst to sew because I just had so many fights with the cover stitch machine
Yeah.
in the sewing lab, and it was just like, I'm like, why did I choose this?
I think I
But
have your poster out here.
you
It's actually close by, so I'll have to maybe
go.
after the interview,
Maybe.
we'll bring it out. But I think I have your poster over here somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like some people that like I work with some OPDD grads and they're like, I feel like I saw your poster. And I was pretty proud of that poster. I feel like it turned out pretty good, honestly.
It was good, and it's been on the walls ever since you left. So
Yeah, there we go. So that's proof that
it
it's.
stood the test of time for
Yeah.
sure. Well, and you got to show that collection. Unfortunately, you're part of that 2020 class, right? So no
Yep.
exhibit. You
Oh,
got to
exhibit.
exhibit your collection in Portland, though.
Oh yeah. Yes.
That in
Shout
the
out to
fall.
you. It wasn't
Was
that.
it a different collection?
It was a different one. I did my like climbing overalls.
That's right.
I think
That's
that was
right.
what
Yeah.
it was, right?
Yeah.
I have a terrible memory, but that was
No, you're
super
right.
cool. I feel like that was like my first glimpse into like the industry, which is just so crazy. I still think about that show a lot and like because it was functional fabric fair and so just being able to see like oh my goodness there's this whole world of like technical fabrics out there. um that was so cool. And like just being able to meet and talk with people and just learn more about the textile industry. That's something that's always like fascinated me and I would love. I always like to dream that one day I'll go into like textile science, like I'll get a either another degree or like a master's or something in it because I think it's just so fascinating. Obviously, also because of the knitting and like yarn and fibers and all of that. So like that all ties in together.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's
Well,
really cool being able
well,
to.
I think that's and I want students to know like where some of these partnerships came from, and like Functional Fabric Fair now is just like a staple of this program. And
Yeah.
like we are there every year. We have a huge exhibit there where it's like the archive gets to showcase
Yeah, that's true.
materials. And in the past we've been able to have like a student display. We're kind of changing how that's working for the future, like how students go and exhibit. But you were the first to go and like display
Yeah,
work there.
that's
um,
true, huh?
so you were a part of like establishing this relationship with the trade show that now we're like a huge part
Yeah.
of, which is really cool.
Because I'm trying to remember, I don't think um the archive wasn't a part of it that first time, right? Because I
No,
think
and
it was done.
probably not even the second time. I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, that happened a few shows later where we
Yeah.
started getting involved and we started like displaying the collection. And now we
Yeah.
have like a huge display. So
Yeah. And that was a cool trip too, because then we went to Columbia, Keen, and Nike, I think.
that's right.
So
Yeah,
we went and
that's right.
visited them. And that was
And
so cool.
and Adidas? Wait,
Oh
did you say
yeah,
that?
Adidas. Yeah.
Adidas?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hit a few
We hit
companies
some
while we
big
were there.
ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Shoot. Good
But
job.
I think that trip really kind of laid like the foundation for the program in some ways, like because
Yeah.
now we're there every 6 months, and that's where a lot of people learn about the program. A lot of companies learn about what we're doing, and we've started placing more students in that region. So
Awesome.
shout out to you.
Oh, shout out to
You
you.
rep you
You did all
represented
the
the
hard work
program.
to get us there. So
Well, the show was great, and they've been really great to sponsor our participation. So that
yeah,
was awesome. So. Um,
sweet.
what did your transition to like career look like? You mentioned it a little bit, but graduating during COVID, like how
Mhm.
did getting into the industry, clearly you've been in the industry, but like how did that happen? Like what did that look like?
Yeah, so like I said, graduated. It was COVID, so it was definitely like a little frantic of like, okay, like I want to just find something. And I was lucky enough to get a really good job with Down East. And so I worked with them for a couple of months, and then I found Vouray, which is a local basically gym bag company, and I started designing for them. They also owned You Into Design at the time, like, but You Into Design was pretty new, and that was like a custom white label um bag company. So still doing bags. And I kind of started designing for both of those things. Sorry, both of those brands. Then there was also another brand called Jaden, which is like a travel lifestyle brand. And I eventually moved kind of from just design to a little bit of management um of Jaden. Um and then eventually this position opened up for kind of more of supply chain, managing like a team in China, working with our factories for You Into Design. And so I've been doing that for over a year and a half now, I would say. And I've honestly loved it. It's been so much fun to work more with the factories and kind of get more of a have more of a look inside like more of the logistics and the details of what it takes to bring a bag to life, or really kind of just any garment as well, just because there are obviously different details and nuances depending on the product. Um, but just learning more and working with our factories so much. Right now, we're making a really big push to try and speed up our sample timelines because we are a custom white label brand. samples, and getting samples in a fairly quick timeline is really important. And it's been so fun to just really dig into like every little detail of like, okay, like where is our factory getting this from? Where are they getting this from? Like, how can we bring it all closer so that they can, get it done faster so we're not waiting on, transit times or waiting for XYZ. And so it's been really cool to just get into all these nitty-gritty details and learn so much. I've learned so much in the past year and a half of like product and how it's actually made. And so it's been a really like I said, a surprising change in my career, but I've loved it and it's been I've learned so much. So
Well, like you said, I think it's great to be open to new opportunities and be
mhm.
curious about, different paths you could take, different opportunities that present themselves. Like I think it's easy for students to think like, oh, well, design, development, product management, that's it. Like those are the
Mhm.
opportunities. And like, did you ever think you'd be a supply chain manager?
No,
No, right? Like
not at
that's
all.
but that sounds like so interesting and such like so many interesting challenges and problems to
Mhm.
solve. And it's like creative in a way. And
Yeah,
um that's really interesting. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So there are more jobs than just like you said, like just designer or just developer. There's like so many different layers within those, you know what I mean? That once you kind of get in, I feel like you get into the industry, you kind of start to learn what some of those other options are. So,
Totally. Well, do you have any parting thoughts? Any like advice that you would give to current students?
mm, I would say kind of along those lines, I would say be open. Like if you like definitely work on your hard skills, like if you want to design, like definitely work on your design skills, but also like be open to things if there's different opportunities that arise that maybe you didn't initially like want to do that specific thing. But like give it a try. You know what I mean? Like just see where it takes you and see what you can learn from it because I feel like I'm like a much more well-rounded like I would say like I'm a better designer now than I was before because I have more knowledge of supply chain. Does that make sense? So kind of just like take the opportunities, even though it may not feel like exactly where you want it. Like it may not be where you initially thought you would go, because you can always learn along the way.
That's perfect. Well, we'll wrap it there because I know you've Moana. You need to watch Moana.
Moana is calling, so
Oh, Moana is calling. Now, thank you for taking time